Everyone thinks rent control protects renters. It does the opposite. Back in the 1940s, after World War II, cities faced a housing crisis. Soldiers came home, families needed apartments. Landlords raised rents faster than paychecks climbed, so governments did what seemed logical: cap how much landlords could charge. If you freeze the price, housing stays affordable. Problem solved, right? Not quite. The theory sounds airtight. Think of it like grocery stores. If the government capped milk prices at $2, milk stays cheap forever. But here's what actually happens. If the store loses money on milk, they stock less of it. Same with housing. When rents are capped below what it costs to maintain a building, landlords stop maintaining. They stop building new units. The supply shrinks. New York City implemented rent control in 1943. By the 1970s, entire neighborhoods in the Bronx looked like war zones, not because of crime alone, but because landlords couldn't afford upkeep on frozen rents. Buildings emptied, blocks burned. The very policy meant to help renters accelerated decay. But wait, the real story isn't that simple. Yes, supply shrinks, but that's not why rent control fails. It fails because of who gets locked in and who gets locked out. A tenant in a rent-controlled apartment pays $800 for a two-bedroom. Their neighbor, who moved in last year, pays $400 for the same unit. The gap creates perverse incentives. Landlords stop renting to families with kids or pets. They demand under-the-table fees. They neglect repairs, knowing they can't raise rents to cover costs. Young people, the ones most desperate for affordable housing, get priced out because landlords prefer long-term tenants who lock in cheap rates. The policy protects the few and punishes the many. Some economists call this the rent control paradox. Policies designed to help renters end up reducing housing stock, concentrating wealth among lucky incumbents, and making it harder for newcomers to find any apartment at any price. The problem wasn't the idea, it was assuming you can override scarcity with law. Yet cities keep trying. Why? Because rent control remains politically popular, it feels fair, it's simple to explain, and the people harmed by it, those who can't find housing, aren't as visible as those protected by it. The real solutions, zoning reform, building more units, subsidizing renters directly, require patience and coordination. Rent control is faster, even if it's slower to fail. Understanding rent control isn't about picking sides in housing debates. It's about recognizing that good intentions and economic reality don't always align. When you cap prices, supply responds. When you protect some, others lose. That's not opinion, that's how systems work. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Subscribe for weekly deep dives into the hidden economics shaping where we live. Subscribe for weekly deep dives into the hidden economics shaping where we live. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research.